Let's talk a little bit more about the idea of, we call it going nuclear with McDavid and Draisaitl on the same line. I think it's most effective when you start with them separate and coming out of a PK, when the other team's best players are now off the ice, boom, you throw 29 and 97 together. Off a TV timeout, they're both rested, boom, throw them together for a shift. I don't like the idea of keeping them together game after game after game for full 60-minute stretches, because I just think it weakens everything else in your lineup too much. Where do you come out on the idea of them being together or potentially splitting them up?
I think they should only be together for limited runs. I don't believe, I think it is a nuclear deterrent having them together. But I do, like you said, element of surprise. I think that's the way you got to use them because, listen, they're two of the greatest hockey players in the world, but they're not the best defensively. So you need guys that are a little bit more responsible with them. Obviously, you have Hyman with them, and he can be, but you can't ask him to play those minutes because if you talk to a lot of players around the league, they're scared of that line, but they're also like, if you get that line in their own end, they're a little bit helter-skelter. So I think for now, and you always kind of see coaches kind of get nervous when the season gets in a weird spot with the Oilers. Every coach just kind of slowly defers to that. And whether Leon and Connor go in the room and are like, put us together, or whether it's kind of like, hey, we got to get something going. But they just need to kind of figure out where everybody fits right now, because it's a little bit that worries me because, and it seems to be the plight of the Edmonton Oilers every year is like, where do the other guys fit around Connor and Leon, and who can keep up with them and who can not frustrate them to the point where they don't want to play with these guys anymore? Because, Leon's an unbelievable player, but exactly how he's feeling because his body language is, he wears his emotions on his sleeve. If he's frustrated, you see it. And if he's frustrated with a guy he's playing with, you see it, because the effort will be less and he won't, if the puck's not on his tape, you could see his head snap back. And he doesn't do that with Connor because he loves playing with Connor. And they're so dynamic together. But I think they have to figure out something in the interim. And obviously they're waiting for, I would love for it to be Arvidsson, Skinner, Leon. I think that eventually has to be the line because that's a hell of a line if they can figure it out. And then I think your top line has to be go back to Nuge, Connor, and Zach Hyman. And then, you figure out from there. But, I heard you talking like Janmark's on the second line. I like Janmark. He's a good guy that can go up and down. But I think that's your top six that needs to figure out the chemistry, because there's just too much talent to be thrown around in the bottom six. Like, you can't have Skinner on your third line. I feel like him and Leon need to figure out a little bit of chemistry, and Arvidsson as well. But Arvidsson's missed a lot of time, so he's got to get up to speed. And the surgeries he had, like those are tough on NHL players. Like, it was back, and like that's tough to come back from, especially a guy who's explosive like he is.
Yeah, we even got a comment here. Like, we dropped Skinner, Leon, Arvidsson too soon. I agree. I think we should have given that line, but you should have given them more runway. But you were 0-3, so it's like you wanted to hit some sort of a panic button.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.